of the action. It's such a great part of John Wick. Undertakes complexity footwork.
We wanted a project that let us do something a little bit more from the human side of things. Instead of just training an actor to do choreography, we just made Keanu pretty much one of the choreographers, one of our stuntmen. We pushed him harder than I think we've ever pushed anybody. You'll see him take his own falls, his own rolls. You see him do his own reload. You see him unjam and jam a weapon. You'll see him do all his own disarms. You see him drive his car. You see him hit things with a car when it's really Keanu Reeves. So we kind of threw away the actor thing and just trained him as a stunt guy.
That was always the mantra. He's going to roll the camera, and it's going to roll for 30 seconds and see how many people you can hose down with a pistol in 30 seconds.
It's demanding. It's really demanding as movie fighting goes.
We talked a lot about how could we make this one bigger and meaner, and we settled on the idea that we need to make Keanu better, hence the long training period for Keanu Reeves.
So as I put the suit back on, I went back into training. That stunt team has a lot of experience training actors.
Whatever it is, he embraces it full-heartedly. He just goes full throttle the whole way.
I would find it difficult to get a 50-year-old man in that kind of combat-ready state, except Keanu. I think Keanu wants to live that life of, this is who I am. And I think he brings that every time we rehearse and every time we train.
Yeah, I mean, I'm older, so it's harder to show off. And you have more technique, so that helps keep balancing it out. The age is winning, of course. Techniques are helping me get by. The more I can do and the more confidence that Chad and the stunt team have in me, then they go, okay, now let's give him some more responsibility. Oh, you can do that? Oh, cool. Okay, well, what about that? Ah, shoot, I can't quite do that. Train him.
Keanu trains on the weekends. He trained for 4 or 5 months before the movie started shooting. I don't mean like once a week, like every day, 4 or 5 hours a day.
The great thing about Keanu is he's super committed. When there's training to be done, he's gonna do it. He shows up early to train and works as hard as possible.
As you get deeper and deeper into training, you get less and less normal life, which I enjoy the focus of it. Friends are like, where did you go? I'm in the training paradise.
I really enjoy the physical side of it. I'm a Virgo. I like tasks. I like the puzzle. I like trying to get good at something. So it's fun to do the physical stuff. Figure it out and try and be great at it. I started training 2 years after the release of the first one. So the weapon stuff came back pretty quick. That muscle memory, the judo not so much.
I've gone out to some of the best instructors to enrich Keanu Reeves, to get him better at what it is we're going to do in the movie. We just went to town training him on 14 or 15 great judo moves, aki-jitsu moves, and then really upped his jiu-jitsu game and spent a lot of time grappling. So we brought the masters in, the Machado brothers, just so we can get the best knowledge. They'd come in and see his jiu-jitsu training.
Great honor to have the Machado brothers come to 8711.
I love John Wick. I think it was one of the best fight scenes ever. I believe for me it was the first movie which you see the mix of good martial arts so well put together. What we did with Keanu, I start to see his knowledge. He's already very sharp in techniques. And we start trying to improve that transition. And like somebody come on top of him, he escape quick and go, grab the neck, and poof, break. In every position, he knows how to escape, how to set up, how to counterattack, and how to do the submission. He have that focus, that determination, everything perfect. Is very impressive.
I was basically just like an hour with them, and they each taught me one technique. Everything was breath, flow. When are you slow? When are you fast? Is your breath while that's happening?
That's why I'm here today, bring you what we know best.
That's always with me. That's part of how he's taught me. It's the flow.
We wanted the audience watching our lead cast, who actually went through the training and got to do the action itself.
The stunt team is built on mastery. They want A+ level work. And that's what I strive for. I strive for excellence.
It's really kind of neat to be meeting these wonderful performers and artists who are like, yeah, we want to play.
Casting was another one of those great parts that had a couple great character moments and had a lot of action. So we didn't want to go out and cast just a stuntman or a cast member that's really defined action. We'd rather find someone very interesting who had a great character attribute to him and then train them as we did with Keanu.
I knew that these are stunt guys that are the best in the industry. They're just really great at what they do. So the opportunity to work with Keanu Reeves, and once they put Rome on the map too, it was like, I need to be in John Wick too.
Common's like, let's train, man. We got to do John Wick style. And I'm like, yeah, man, right on. So he's been training and training and training guns and jiu-jitsu and going through the Wick program.
I've been learning a whole lot, and I have to say, it's like learning a new language. And I love getting to do the work, and it's hard work. You know, some days you go home and your neck is messed up for a week, but, you know, it's no time to cry and whine when you're working with 8711. I can remember being like, hey, you know, I messed up my neck. It's a strain or something going on, and, you know, I can barely turn it. They said, okay, cool, you stretch it out. And then we got back into putting me in the headlocks and stuff. I was like, okay, all right, this is what we're doing.
Ruby's going through the Wick program. Welcome to Wick.
I said to Chad, how much of this am I going to do and how much is going to be a stunt double? And he's like, you can do as much or as little as you want. I think he knew then already that I was signing up to do as much as humanly possible.
We really took a look at what her background was.
So we worked with my strengths, which are boxing and martial arts.
And so we really used her skill set, and that way it was a little easier when you're training somebody to not have to start from the beginning.
And he was like, what's the point of teaching you something you've never done before when we can teach you with your boxing how to just take that to another level. Heidi knew all the choreography, and then we'd work together and she would teach me the safety kind of elements of it. Our fight scenes is so intense, and there were so many different moves, and we choreographed it 3 different styles, and we're in a mirror room, and of course Chad wanted to keep revising it. So it was almost like an improv. Like it really was like we were fighting, because half the time we were like, are we going with the uppercut, or are we going with, oh well, I don't know, let's just do this.
With the training, you learn about the cooperation, how to fake fight, and how to do long takes, and like there's a kind of reality to it, but it's also a dance.
It's sort of a pleasure when you get to work with one of the guys you're used to working with. It's sort of like a dance when you do a fight. And if someone's a tiny bit off, the other person makes up for it a little bit, and you work together. Some of the guys, you know, Jackson, Danny, all these guys, I mean, I know if I ever fight them, we're always going to be on because we'll make up for each other's mistakes. And I realized that Keanu has picked that up. I could tell that he was dancing with me from the beginning. I was so impressed.
Cars, guns, knives, just basic stuff. You gotta know how to make an omelet, right?
So when you open up the Reeves chest, it's like, okay, we got that with the guns, we got this with the throws, we have this on the floors. These are the choke techniques, these are the knife techniques. So the more that he has to play with, he can work that into the choreography.
Everything's a weapon to him, whether it's hands-on or firearms or his car, whatever he has, he's going to use as a weapon.
But yeah, in the first film, he would use one kind of weapon all the time, so it was very linear. Now we have the 3 different weapons that he's using at one time, which adds a completely different aspect.
I've done a lot more training on this film than the first one in terms of guns.
We took Keanu through a lot of 3-gun training.
Speed draws, transitions, fast trigger pulls.
Keeping that kind of gunplay and fighting interesting, like gun jitsu, up to snuff is our biggest mission. So we brought the masters in just so we can get the best knowledge. We wanted him to be faster and be able to up his target acquisition, make him faster, pulling up on targets faster out of the holster, get him faster on the reloads, be able to correct malfunctions.
We brought in Taryn Butler, who's the national international 3-gun champion. It's about speed, precision, and timing. Moving targets, stationary targets, and the ability to transition between a pistol, a rifle, and a shotgun and back and forth.
I brought Keanu here at Taryn Butler's shooting ranch up in Simi Valley for a reason, because Taryn is the fastest guy out there.
He is the best with somebody that I've ever had out here. His intensity, his desire to get good is really what pushes me as a trainer to just get even better with him. You know, I've had guys out and they're great. They want to do the basics and kind of go, and they're good to go. And you know what, good enough for the camera and all that stuff, but he wants to take to the next level.
For me, I enjoy the mechanics of it and figuring stuff out, and then trying to apply it.
He's never satisfied. He wants it to be the best it possibly can be. But on the other hand, you look back at the videos, that's an amazing run.
You start getting into how fast was your draw, how fast was your first pull, what was the time between your trigger pulls, how fast your reload, how fast can you run this course.
It's all about speed shooting while you're moving. And every time we're at Taryn's, we can change the course. It's almost like choreography. He shoots one course, pistol, rifle, shotgun, and then the next time we change it.
In each session, he was firing anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 rounds. But it just builds in so much precision and so much muscle memory. We thought it was a good idea.
There is something to the mindset, and it does it to your body. You know, you have to be in it. You have to attack. If that gets ingrained in my body, then it's going to be second nature for me just to go into that position.
Our stuff came back pretty quick, through some 90s, 180s.
We were knocking the dust off with Mr. Reeves, getting him back in the saddle, and driving the Mustangs around a bit. Take them back to the basics. We just did some 90s into a mark and 180s to a mark. We started drifting a little bit. Just kind of see where he's at, see how much he remembered.
The 90s were right there, 45s were right there, the drifting was pretty right there. So reverse 180 was a little new, so that was fun.
We train Keanu specifically to the moves that we choreograph in the chase. So we're not so much building car chases in this film as much as we are car crew, where he takes the car and he smashes into people, he uses the car to hit people, he'll use the car to knock people over. This one's a lot more brutal.
So this training helps when someone says, "Action!" Go, and you're like, on it.